Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Now I can start. Today's topic is congestive heart failure drug. That is, the drug is known as drug is known
স্যার মেবি আপনার মাইকটা অফ আছে।
এখন.
হ্যাঁ, এবার ঠিক আছে।
Now we are going for that classification of cardiac congestive heart failure. This is due to systolic failure. Another is diastolic failure. This cannot pump properly, and this is known as by ejection fraction. When above 40% the ejection, then it is systolic heart failure, and it is below 40 to 50%, it is diastolic failure, that is ventricular contraction. By this time, by the time of course, there are two types of congestive heart failure. One is chronic heart failure, another is acute heart failure. And when it is automatically, it is left side and in the right side also. And another point is that some of the diseases, high output failure, that is thyrotoxicosis, Paget's disease. Paget's disease is related to bone, the hip bone when erode. This is Paget disease. And due to anemia, this is also causes that is cardiac congestive heart failure, pregnancy, and AV fistula. When there is in the UV node, there is formation of fistula. This is the one of the. So we have the pharmacological classification as we have discussed. Next is the drugs. What are the mechanism? That is, it is due to sympathetic nervous system stimulation. Another is renin-angiotensin system activation, myocardial hypertrophy, and alter cardiac rhythm. There is cardiac rhythm when altered. Already I have discussed that anti-arrhythmic drugs. Some of the anti-arrhythmic drugs also used uh, for this purpose. It is when there is congestive heart failure. At the time we are using this type of anti-arrhythmic drugs also. Next is next category of drug is that is when the renin-angiotensin system, that is angiotensin 1, angiotensin 2, these are the one of the causes of heart failure. That is when angiotensin are not properly produced, then cardiac output will automatically leads to decrease, and there is chances of problem, that is cardiac failure will be there. Next, we are going for the drugs. That is, I don't have the pharmacological classification, but we are going to discuss about the different classification of drugs that we are using in the cardiac heart failure. That is, when congestive heart failure is there, first choice of drugs we are using the inotropic drugs, that is cardioglycosides. It is basically a herbal source. It is obtained from in your pharmacognostic class. We have learned digitalis is the source. Digitalis purpura, digitalis lanata. These are the sources of cardiac glycosides. The name of the glycosides is digoxin, digitoxin. One by one, I'll go for detail afterwards. So it is known as cardiotonic drugs. That is, which can useful for the inotropic drugs. That is the positive inotropic drugs. That is exchange of the sodium, potassium in the cardiac muscles and increase the calcium ionic channel, and ultimately the rhythm increases. So afterwards I'll discuss in detail of this type of cardiac exercise. Next is we are using one sympathomimetic drugs, that is natural, it is synthetic one drug. Name of the drug is dobutamine. Dobutamine is a synthetic drug which is a sympathomimetic drug which is increase the vasodilation and ultimately the slow increases. And dopamine also one of the catecholamines, which is secreted from the brain. That is one catecholamine, dopamine is synthetically prepared also, and it can be also prepared by biological process from L-tyrosine. I'll go afterwards how dopamine can be synthesized. And the next category of drug is phosphodiesterase inhibitor. That is phosphodiesterase inhibitor is amrinone, milrinone, all category of drugs. It is the cyclic process, AMP process can be interfering with this type of drugs. Diuretics also I have discussed. The diuretics, that is high ceiling diuretics, furosemide and bumetanide, all are diuretics. There is several categories of diuretics I have discussed. There is a loop diuretics, and this is acting on the loop and ascending the region, and butamide, it is a benzoic acid derivatives, furosemide. Already I have discussed, and bumetanide is also 3-amino benzoic acid. It is 2-amino benzoic acid derivatives, sulfonamide. And another is the thiazide derivatives, that is the chlorothiazides, hydrochlorothiazides, benzchlorothiazides, metolazone, and zipamide. These are the thiazide diuretics. These drugs are can also use in the CHF. And another category of drug is the aldosterone antagonist. It is a spironolactone and eplerenone. It is also one type of drug which inhibits the aldosterone secretion. Spironolactone is a steroidal type of drugs. These drugs is used for the congestive heart failure. Next category of drug is renin-angiotensin system inhibitors. It is already I have discussed in the antihypertensive classes of drugs. That is AC inhibitors like enalapril, that is lamictal, and lisinopril. All are belongs to this type of categories. Angiotensin-2 antagonist drugs also are there. That is, it is inhibits the angiotensin-2 inhibitors, antagonists, losartan, telmisartan, valsartan, all these type of drugs can also use for the for the congestive heart failure. Next is vasodilator. That is, we have already discussed in the anti-anginal drugs. That is glyceryl nitrate, isosorbide dinitrate or mononitrate, pentaerythritol nitrate, all nitrate categories of drugs. We are using, these are used as a venodilator, that is, it increases the venous dilation. And arterial dilator drugs such also hydralazine. I will go for that afterwards. The hypertension, antihypertensive drugs. I have already discussed the hydralazine. It is obtained from the hydrazine synthesis. Next is very important type of drug when there is a severe type of that is congestive heart failure. To control it, arterial and venodilators drug is sodium nitroprusside. Is one of the chemicals given directly into the venous system. Next category of drug is beta-adrenergic blockers, that is propranolol, atenolol, metoprolol and bisoprolol, all are these are the beta adrenergic blockers, that is beta 1 blockers, which is also used for the treatment of congestive heart failure. Next category of drug is metabolic cardioprotective drugs. There is a trimethazidine. Trimethazidine is a metabolic cardioprotective drug. It is the protection of the cardiac metabolism takes place with this type of drug. Another category of drug is calcium sensitizers. There is levocimendine, and another is levocarnitine. Levocarnitine. So these are the different categories of drugs I have discussed one by one now. Now, cardiotonic drugs. What is cardiotonic? Tonic means it can give protect the heart. That is cardiotonic drugs. I am discussing the cardioglycosides. But this is, I have already told you, that is an inotropic, positive inotropic effect. Due to this positive inotropic effect, we use this type of drugs. Example is digitalis, that is digoxin, digitoxin, and also another type of alkaloids is glycosides, that is strophanthus, strophanthus fumbe, and strophanthus as another category of drugs. Next, another powerful drug is also used. It is squil, that is celarine, and it is also the source from herbal one. Next category of adenoreceptor agents, it is a dobutamine. Another is inhibitor of cyclic AMP, that is amrinone. Salmazole is a miscellaneous category of drugs. Now, what is inotropic drugs? That is cardioglycosides. Cardioglycosides, that's a three moieties. One is sugar, another is steroid, another is lactone. There is sugar part is known as another one part which is attached to the C position. It may be 1 to 4 sugar. It may be in case of digitox, digoxin, digitoxose, G-toxose is an glycon part, and another part is steroidal part, that is aglycon part. I think already you have studied the steroid. Steroid is basically is a cyclopentanoparhydrophenanthine. So it is a cyclopentanoparhydrophenanthine. So you know digitoxin and digoxin. These are the major source of digitalis. The seeds of Trophanthus also we can get Trophanthus K, Trophanthus G. These are also one of the glycosides. And it is a steroidal glycoside. This steroidal glycoside is one of the important glycosides that we are using for the treatment of congestive heart failure. Digoxin, it is also increase the contractile force of the heart, and it is act as a tonic. That is how it is act. It inhibits the sodium potassium ATP channel and increase the sodium level inside the cell membrane, and thereby increase the sodium, calcium ion, and ultimately the fourth is called myocardial protection takes place. Next category of drugs that is we are going to discuss, that is if you see the structure of phosphor I have discussed, it is also acting the channel same process. Dobutamine, it is also one type category drug, it is adenosine type of drug. Next, I am going for the structure of chemistry of digitoxin or digitalis. You see one steroidal structure is there, and this is digitoxygenin, digitoxin, and gtoxin, and digitoxygenin. These are the different categories of drugs. If you see, this is the structure of digoxin. What is this? These three molecules, the sugar molecule, the three molecule, three position is attached with three sugar molecules. And A, B, C, D, four rings are there. A, B, two rings are in the trans position, and C and D are in the cis position. And in the 17 beta position, alpha beta position, one lactone ring is there. It may be 5-membered or it may be 4-membered. That is, 4-membered, 5-membered ring is there is one butanone compound. It is known as cardionalides. Would I ask you what is cardionalides? Cardionalides are the drugs. When there is a 17 position, there is one 5-membered rings. Butanone is there, the lactone ring. This is known as cardionalides. And when so what is this is the one OH is there. One CH3, the 13th position, and one OH in the 14th position. And 14th position OH, it is digitoxin. But when 12 in the 12th position, when the 12th position, one OH group is there, that is 12 means this position. This then you can tell it is a digitoxin. Digoxin and digitoxin are same in nature, but only the difference is that one of OH in the 12th position. So if I ask you what is the difference between digoxin and digitoxin, only you can write same structure. One sugar part is there, three molecules of sugar is attached in the 3 position, and in the 12th position, one extra OH is there in case of digitoxin. Now, these are the structure of your compound. And now I am going for the another category of drugs, that is azoxanthin. Azoxanthin is a very complicated pyrimidine derivatives and tetrazine derivatives. This is one of the vasodilator. So Cardiotonics drug is there, and this is mainly from Harvard source. Now I am going for the drugs structure of the cardiac glycosides. If you see the structure of the cardiac glycosides, I am telling you before, that is 1, 2, 3 position is sugar molecule, and in the 12th position one OH molecule, and 14th position another OH molecule, that is 14th beta position OH molecule. So steroidal molecule is there, that is it is one steroidal part, that is cyclopentano phenanthrin molecule, and in the 17 alpha beta position one lactone ring is there, which may be six-membered or five-membered. If it is six-membered, it is called bufordinolides, that is pentadienylates. Another is five-membered, that is butinolides, that is it is an cardionolide. So digitalis is basically digitalis containing the digoxin and digitoxin. Both are five-membered ring. In the 17 alpha beta unsaturation lactone ring is there, and the 17th position. And only the variation is that digoxin variation it is 12th position and others are same. Next category of drug is you are seeing is also digoxin. Consider this is the structure of digoxin. And next category of drug is digoxin and digitoxin. The difference, this is the see the difference. Digoxin is in the 14th position of the molecule. There is one weight, and in the digitoxin, this is only no weight group in the 12th position. So this is the difference between digoxin and digitoxin. Now glycosides, already I have discussed, there is two parts, sugar and non-sugar, and one lactone is there. Next time, showing the source of the digitalis, you know, in pharmacognostic class, you have learned it is basically a leaf, and the leaf is basically digitalis granata is the source. Common name is foxglove, family is Phosphorulaceae is a family, and it is a chemical structure. So sugar molecules is there, non-sugar part is there, and this non-sugar part is called aglycone. Sugar part is called glycone. So aglycone part is basically a steroidal moiety, and in the 17th position there is one lactone. Now, if R group at the 17th position, R in the 17th position, cardinalides and bifidonalides I have discussed. One is butyrolactone, it is called cardinalides, and when it is six-membered pyrrole ring, it is bifidonalides. Bifidonalides is basically one pyrrole ring is there in the 17 alpha beta position, and this is the basic difference between the bifidonalides on the chemical structure point of view. It is the difference is there. Now, this is the that is the difference is that cardinalides, the five-member ring, bifidonalides is pyrrole ring. Where it is situated? It is situated in the 17th position of the moiety. 17 alpha beta position. Next category of drugs, it is structural features. Structural feature is basically steroidal molecules. One OH group in the three position. 14th position, one OH group. AB ring is the cis, and BC ring is the trans, and CD ring is the cis. So if I ask you AB ring in which position, then you can tell it is cis position. And BC ring is the trans position. CD ring also in the cis position. So additional OH group is there at the C5 position. C11, CH3 group is there. The presence of lactone ring in the 17th position. 17th position there is lactone ring. If I go for the structural activity relationship of this type of steroidal framework, then you can tell there is AB in the cis, CD is also ring is also an essential request for the highest interaction, and BC So modifying by AB related by if you change the position and the BC plane, then it is in the decrease of the activity. So this is very important for AB and CD ring. And if you modify this, then there will be no change, the decrease will be there. The wage group as a 40 position is an essential feature of the inotropic effect. So if I ask you, what is the, if you want to get maximum inotropic effect of the cardiac glycoside, then there will be a P14 position, one wage group will be there. And if you replace it by wage group is means by hydrogen, then there will be decrease of the activity. So to get maximum activity of inotropic effect of cardiac glycoside, there must be one 14 position, there must be one OH ring present. Next is, I'm going for the lactone ring. Lactone ring is the presence in the alpha beta lactone. Lactone saturation is there. If alpha beta unsaturated lactone is there, the activity will be there. And if we try to make the saturation from unsaturated to saturated state, then there will be total loss of the activity of this type of cardiotonic drugs, and ultimately their activity will be. So if the lactone is replaced by heterocyclic or pyridine or pyridazine ring, then only partial effect will be there. Next is lactone ring presence I have discussed, that is alpha beta position. Saturation may lead to destruction of the molecules. And next is sugar molecule. Sugar is very, what types of sugar? It may be glucose, it may be rhamnose, it may be saccharose, it may be digitose. So these sugar molecules is a part of the sugar part, that is glycone part. It may vary. In case of digitalis, it is G-fructose and G-fructose. It varies. Next category of drug is propanthas. It is also obtained from herbal source. That's the propanthas pombe is the source, and the seeds are generally used. And if you see the structure of this propanthas, it is also the diuretic stage. It is also cardiac stimulant. Propanthidine is the active ingredient, active part of the molecules. It is a glycone, and it is a three glucose molecules is there. One is beta D glucose, alpha D glucose, alpha D glucose, and beta D saccharose. So in case of propanthas, if you see the structure, then the three position it is attached with three glycone molecules, and in the 40 position OH group is there, and in the 30 position one CH3 group is there, and the one carbonyl group is there in the 19th position. So these are the propanthas. It is one of the drugs, uh, cardiotonic drugs, also obtained for this. Next category of drug is am- amrinone. Amrinone is 3-amino pyridine, fluoride pyridazine 2-on-green. Then amrinone and milinidone are these type of drugs. It is also used by the adenosine type of inhibition, cyclase inhibitor. And this is the structure of amylinone. Amylinone is basically a pyridine derivative. That is two pyridine derivatives are there, and it is one is there. Ketone is there, and it is an three amino derivative. So amylinone is an amino derivative containing pyridine structure, and this is the one category of cardiotonic, that is congestive heart failure drug. It is acts as vasodilation. It is also another steroid drug. Oyovain. Oyovain is another category of drug. It is also just structurally similar to the digitalis drug. One glycon part is there, glycon part is there, and in the 17th position of the molecule, there is one lactone is there. So these are the Wavin. Another category of drug is quill. It is argenia. It is chemically, its name is argenia. In Bengali, it is called bonti ash. It is very poisonous. And if you see, this is not cardinalized, it is a deprotonalized. Because you see in the 17th position, and there is one lactone is there, but it is six members. And basically, a sugar part is there, with one glucose, one ramenose, only two sugar molecules is there. And the sugar molecules is attached in the three position. So if I ask you what is the difference between quill, that is quill containing benzodiazepines and cardianolides like digitalis, digoxin. You see the difference, there is a lot of differences there. Three position there is two glucose molecules, one is ramenose, there is ramenose, and in the 17th position there is one, not five members, it is six members pyranone ring, that is known as quill. Quill it and a sclerine is used, but this quill is not at all used because bufordamolide is very much poisonous. Now, so these are the different types of drugs I have discussed for the mainly cardiotonic drugs, but so many drugs are also used for the congestive heart failure. That is, I have already discussed. This is furosemide. There is structure of furosemide is see. There is an amide derivative, so benzoic acid derivative. And one furan ring is there, furosemide. A loop diuretic, which increase the secretion of the sodium of the body and also water from the body so that there will be relief of the respiration and ultimately we can get rid from congestive heart failure. Acetazolamide is not at all used. So this type of drug, it is furosemide, bumetanide, these are the drugs used. But what is the difference between furosemide and bumetanide? Bumetanide and furosemide structure is more or less similar, but the difference is that in the three positions, there is one amino group is there, and the butamate, butylamine group is there. And in the two position, furosemide amine group is there. So 5-sulfamide, two amino benzoic acid is furosemide, and 5-sulfamide, three amino benzoic acid is bumetanide. So what is the difference between these two? Very simple. Only the deposition of the two is furosemide and three is benzoic acid derivative, three amino benzoic acid derivative. Next category of drugs, and you see already I have discussed The hypertension, that is hydrolyzine, it is a vasodilated, there is atrial vasodilation takes place. Immediately it is given and ultimately when we go for the synthesis is very simple. 2-fernyl benzoic acid plus hydrazine. There is a cyclization takes place in formation of the hydrazine thing, hydrazine derivatives. These benzoyl when treatment is for plus chloride, trichloride, and you will get this hydrazine or further treatment with hydrazine, you will get hydrazine. This is one of the drugs for the treatment of the congestive heart failure. Next category of drug is thiazide derivatives. Thiazide derivatives already I have discussed in the diuretics chapter. That is thiazide derivatives, very important drug because since thiazide, hydrochlorothiazide, chlorothiazide, all thiazides are basically used for the treatment of this congestive heart failure. So next category of drug I have discussed, that is AC inhibitor. Already you know the AC inhibitor. This AC inhibitor is enalapril, lisinopril, and all category of drugs that it belongs to. So next is beta-adrenergic blockers, that is propranolol, atenolol, metoprolol, and carvedilol, all category of drugs is there. And we are having this type of drugs, propranolol, it is an naproxen derivative, and atenolol, metoprolol, all are benzoxy derivatives. So these are the beta-adrenergic blockers also used for the treatment of congestive heart failure. And now these are the drugs for choice. Now I am asking you questions from this, that is uh, glycoside, that is cardiac glycogen. And I am telling you what is cardiac. Digitoxin is no doubt a very good drug. That is, it acts as cardiotonic, but it is nowadays very obsolete, and you have to carefully you have to use, because if you cannot maintain the dosage of the drug properly, then it causes very severe type of toxicity. This is known as the due to cardiac accumulation of the, that is called cumulative effect. So what is cumulative effect of digitoxin or digoxin or any cardiac glycoside? Basically, the elimination rate of the cardiac digitoxin or digoxin is very slow, and there is accumulation of the drug in the body, and ultimately if you don't able to monitor the dosage, then what will happen? There is a chance of toxicity. I'm telling you that is digitoxin acts as a positive inotropic effect, and this positive inotropic effect is if you overdose, that is you cannot maintain the dose, that the accumulation of the drug is there inside your body, and ultimately it causes severe toxicity, and ultimately it is turns to negative inotropic effect. And This type of drugs is nowadays should be used very carefully. Another drug is there also, lanoxin, lanatosides, that is lanatosides, also lanatide C, digitalis lanata, digitalis from lanata we are getting this type of drug. And in aldosterone antagonist drugs, spironolactone, it is basically acts as diuretics and it enhances the secretion of the urine by antagonizing the aldosterone metabolic process, and thereby it acts as diuretics and reduce the congestion of the heart. And some of the anti-anginal drugs, that is the nitrates, are basically used, and moreover, sometimes we are using to relieve pain. The pain is along with these, so anti-pain that is procainamide or lidocaine type of drugs, signocaine type of drugs, along with we are given procainamide. So time to time, this digitalis is carefully used. Scopanthus is very safe drug. Scopanthus is very safe because it is obtained from the seed Scopanthus umbe, and this Scopanthus is nowadays used with a controlled form. Scopanthus, and you see this is propanthidine, propanthidine is one of the drug which can be used instead of digitalis, and very carefully monitoring the dosage. Every drug, but don't you use quill, because quill is not biperinolide, it is an biperinolide, it is not cardinolide. So this type quill gets some poisoning action of the red squill is used for the rat poisoning, and this is the different categories of drugs I have discussed. And most type of drugs, uh, amirinone is on the and milrinone. These are the category of drugs. It is also one type of drug we are using for the treatment of congestive heart failure. And Guavain is also one type of drug. It is basically a lenatoside C, and another category of drug is this lenatoside, this lenoside. It is also one category of drug. It is the form of tablet. It can be used. Digitoxin tablet is now BP is very obsolete. Still nowadays it is used as a cardiotonic because basically we are unable to monitor the dosage very carefully. So these are the today's topic. Already I have completed, and I am also giving you different types of synthesis in the classroom. You see the classroom and follow the basic books. I think that will be better for you because these are the overall layout that I have given you. Thank you. If there be any problem or question from your side, you can ask me. Ask me question. If there be any queries, you can ask me. Any queries? Hello? Any queries? Hello? 50